much love, and peace. We are back. Shout out to the young man that cussed my black ass out in that goddamn food court parking lot. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? How you guys doing? How you guys feeling? Welcome to the West Coast greatest voice. What's going on? How you feeling? What's going on? Shout out to everybody listening to me live, be it on YouTube, be it on Twitch, be it on Instagram. We'll see. What's up? We got a lot to talk about today, brother. We got a lot to touch on. First, a shout out to all y'all that I ran into in the street. I went out to Midtown Sacramento last night, as well as Doco. Went to Revival. Shout out to my homie Ibrahim. We kicked it at Revival for a minute. I post some videos, but I don't want to put all his business out there. He was out there with his girl and shit, so we want to leave him slide. Let's just hop right into it. Ghetto Asians. Let's talk about it. Ghetto Asians. Let's talk about it. So, this topic pissed a few of y'all off when I was talking about it. I made a video. I'm going to just play the video. Let me play the video for y'all. So I put a video out.
They get active
right here.
I know a lot of y'all think that the only threat that Indians or Punjabis, the only threat they pose to you is not giving you your exact change at the nearest 7-Eleven. But trust me, they get
recent events going on in the valley.
It is shocking me.
So
I gotta be honest. It's shocking me seeing how shocked some of y'all
when you go
to the recent headlines about all these Indian gangs, be it this motorcycle gang, multiple Punjabi gang.
There have been multiple arrests of, I'll say, seeing Punjab majority gangs in Stockton, as well as in the Central Valley. That one right here, to be fair to them, they are not a gang. They are a motorcycle association. They were arrested for weapon trafficking, illegal weapons trafficking. Much respect to them, because I don't want them pulling up on me. I'll be working in Stockton, so they can find me easily. And as well as a man who we later found out was actually a hitman from India. He was caught in Tracy. Then there was another situation with the man who we come to find out this motherfucker in India, he tried to blow up a police station with an RPG and then fled to the San Joaquin Valley. Yeah, he was over here working at 7-Eleven. And when I saw, those of y'all who from Stockton know about 209 Times. Like if you on 209 Times, that's where we keep up with all the news. When I saw y'all comments talking about how, bro, the Indians is getting active, the Punjabs is getting active, what the hell they got to argue about? What they talking about? Shout out to my boy, I see you in the comments. What up, my brother? How you doing? I saw a lot of y'all that were so befuddled to learn that Indians and Punjabis and Sikhs, whatever you call it, get active. That they have gangs, that they have organizations, that they do really be with the shit like that, as we like to say in the West Coast. And I gotta tell y'all, I'm shocked. Shout out to my brother who said, shout him out, yo, brother, what's up? What's up, my brother? How you doing? And I made a video. This video that I put right here, I'll show you guys. The video that I made here was me discussing.
They get active.
Talking about the history.
I know a lot of y'all think
not the history,
that the only threat that Indians or Punjabis, the only threat they pose to you is not giving you your exact change at the nearest 7-Eleven.
A lot of y'all, in all fairness, took offense to that. A lot of y'all took offense to that. Not all. Let me not say a lot. A lot of y'all took offense to that and said, bro, you're trying to paint Punjabis as gang members, as evil. You're trying to paint us like y'all. We ain't like y'all. We ain't like y'all. We're not like y'all. No, we're not like y'all. We're not. They were trying to find a finger. They were like, we're not like y'all, but we're so much better than that. And I wasn't saying that. There is a conversation to be had. The narrative being painted that blacks as a whole make up 103% of the gang violence taking place in the United States of America, but let's just focus in California. There is a narrative that I have always been pissed off and upset with when it comes to that. Particularly when you come to California, I'm bouncing back to the Punjabs in a minute, because when you come here, you would know that every single racial group that you can think of in California has criminal organizations. Be it the Asians, be it the Samoans, be it the Caucasoids, be it us. I know y'all like to paint the picture like it's only us, but it be everybody. So when I made that video about the Punjabi, I wasn't trying to say like, oh, Punjabis and Sikhs. And also, to be fair, one thing I have to say too, my apologies, because I use Punjabi and Indian interchangeably. I didn't know that Punjabis from India do not like to be referred to as Indian because of hostile treatment from the Indian government towards Punjabis and towards Sikh. So that's a fuck up on my part. I should have did my history before I start talking about y'all a little bit more. So that goes both ways. But to go into that conversation about the numerous criminal organizations that you do have out here, yeah, it ain't just us fucking up out here. It ain't just us. You have the Tongans out here. You have the Samoans out here. You have us. You have the, crime is just a product of just human civilization. That's not just a solely black or Latino thing, despite what some of the most aggressive, most extremist of Trump supporters who all have GEDs would like to think. And I'm not knocking them because I got a GED my damn self. But y'all get what I'm saying, right? One thing too, and I think some of y'all catch this when I make these videos, like when I'm talking about like the Hmong gangs, the Mien gangs. I remember I did that one video where I did talking about like how to, hey, if you want to mess with the Asians, mess with these Asians. If you want to fight the Asians, funk with these Asians. Why don't you fight these Asians? And the purpose of that video was to say like, bro, when we talk about the rampant amount of let's say anti-Asian, but the tendency to rob Asians. Some of y'all from California know about that whole thing about how dudes would try to target Asian women or try to target old Asian women or Asian women because honestly, they tend to walk around with a lot of cash. So there is a tendency to victimize the Asians who can't fight back. And I made a video saying, hey bro, you fucking with the wrong Asians. You fucking with the wrong ones. Why don't you fuck with the Hmongs? Why don't you fuck with the Miens? Why don't you pull up on Manchester and Stockton and try to rob them? Why don't you pull up in Lewis Park and Stockton and try to rob them? Why don't you try to rob the niggas over there in South Sauk off of Lemon Hill? Like, I want you to try to rob them. If y'all feel y'all so tough and y'all want the bag like that, I want you to try the one. My thing with me, bro, is I hate bullies. I hate bullies. So why don't you try to rob the ones? Why don't you try to rob the ones that don't give a fuck about Stockton P pulling up and putting their ass in the county? Why don't you try to rob them? Shout out to my brother, one of my brothers, Mayark. He commented and said, "Tell one thing honestly. Is there any racism related to Indians in California?" Shout out to my brother, so I'll respond to that comment right now. There is. If you are Indian in California, obviously you're gonna get depending where you grew up at and depending what kind of community you live in, right? Like if you're Indian growing up in Elk Grove, you're going to face a lot less racism than you would face if you grew up in, dare I say, Turlock some damn where. Because if you're growing up there, it's different because there's a lot more Indians and Middle Easterns and there's a lot more South Asians in Elk Grove as a whole. If you grew up in Manteca, you're going to face a lot less because Manteca is damn near all Indians now. I don't know what happened in Manteca in the last 15 years. Every time I go to Costco over there, I see somebody I saw in my doctor's office. So it's a lot different. You're going to deal with racism, whatever race you are in California. You're going to get called everybody, be you black, white, Mexican, Latino, whatever, you're going to hear some kind of insults. I've literally stood guard. I literally have stood guard in certain nightclubs and a taxi cab driver pulled up to me and said, "Oh, that person died." Oh, I'm going to give you a story. Let me tell you a story. There was one time I was doing security at, shout out to Camille. There was one time I was doing security. No, sorry. There was this video that went viral of this black cop from Florida beating the shit out of this white dude. I mean, whopping him, beating him up because the white dude didn't want to leave the arena, and I guess he was being belligerent, and the white dude started calling the black cop the N-word. He started saying, "You nigger, you fucking nigger." And everybody in the comments was defending the black cop and saying, "Hey, bro, what he called him an N-word. He called him N-word." And I said, "Hey, bro, I could just tell you as a security guard. If you gonna do aggravated assault on the first white man to call you an N-word while you got your badge on, trust me, this is not the field for you. I'm telling you this as a security guard. This is not the field for you. You cannot lose your mind every single time somebody gets some ignorant ass person who didn't even make it past Job Corps calls you something out your name. You can't do that. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. It don't work like that. I'm sorry. So I hope I answered your question, brother. I'm sorry about that. I feel like I kind of ranted a little bit. Shout out to Aiden who said, I sub, bro, and I like, bro. Love the channel. Keep it up. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. That's love, bro. I appreciate that. It's love. Thank you. Shout out to Camille Kaufman. Camille commented and said, why is nobody watching you? You deserve more people to watch you. Thank you, girl. I appreciate that. Makes my heart. Thank you. I appreciate that, girl. That makes my day. To those of y'all out there, please like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe. I don't try to make this a platform to sow division. Like, at the end of the day, my vision of America, that's why I have this flag here. My vision of America, my vision of California specifically is a place where the best of us come together to contribute to the community and make it better. Now, with that being said, we are still going to have the uncomfortable conversations. We are still going to have those uncomfortable conversations on all of our racial groups, of all of our walks, of all of our whatever walk of life you come from. And I think that's the problem. One of the biggest issues I've had, I'm going to say with the black community, but just communities in general, is the lack of accountability when we touch on certain topics. And I've talked to y'all about this dozens of times, where as a black man, there's certain topics that I'll face a lot more criticism from my own if I bring up, because it might paint us in a bad group you can talk about, whether that group is based on race, whether that group is based on creed, whether that group is based on faith. All of our specific groups, we all have certain things that we don't like to talk about. We don't like to talk about in front of people, in front of white people, because we don't want to look wild. You know, grandma always said, don't fight in front of white people. Like we don't, and I get that, but the problem is that creates a lack of accountability. And I don't like that. Shout out to my man who commented and said, yo, what's up with MBGL, Lil Devious? Lil Devious, that is a hard... Lil Devious sound like that is a name, much to my brother. Shout out to Camille said, can I have a lot more people join? You deserve more people to watch you. Sure, girl, Camille, yes. Invite, let them all know I'm here. Shout out to you. Shout out to my YouTube viewers. Shout out to Mayanak Sharma. Where are you from, brother? Where are you from? He said, have you ever visited India, bro? I have yet to go to India, bro. I do have desire. The problem with India, when you go to India, the problem with India is like the flight's so damn expensive. The flights, that's some shit you have to plan like a year ahead. Like you gotta buy your you gotta make payments on your ticket like a year in advance to plan to go to India, bro. That flight be expensive as hell. But don't get me wrong, I'm down to go. Like I have a lot of friends from India. I'm very well aware of Indian culture. You know, we live in Northern California. I can dare to say that the Indian population is 100% taking over the Bay and Sac, and it's cool. I like that. At the end of the day, this is going to sound messed up. There are certain groups that come here as races that 100% contribute to the economy en masse, and I do appreciate what they contribute. So it's always love. Shout out to Camille. So keep it up. You're the best YouTuber ever. Thank you. I appreciate that, girl. Now, let's talk about our next topic. This might be a little bit triggering for some of y'all. Let's talk about it. See where I put my little sticker at. I don't even know if I put it on here. I did not put it on here. Hold on. Let me put it on here. Okay. So, ICE in Sacramento. Let us talk about it. So, for those who do not know, ICE has been seen in Sacramento. The roundups they've been doing at these Home Depots, at these random locations where you just would most likely see people who might be illegal, might not have their papers. They have been seen hitting up the Home Depots off of flooring. They've been seen out here, right? It's getting low key kind of wild, and it's kind of So I'm in a lot of group chats. I'm in a lot of Facebook groups and commentary groups in Northern California, particularly in Sac. I really don't like the go back to the comments here. I really don't like the atmosphere I'm seeing in my country right now. I don't like the atmosphere of fear. I don't like the atmosphere of racism disguised behind patriotism. I don't like that. And it does kind of concern me about just the overall energy in my country right now. And to be fair, bro, ICE is not a new thing. ICE is not a new thing. A lot of people do not know they have had ICE law enforcement branch way before Trump existed. You've had La Migra. La Migra, that's what you used to call it if you grew up in California. Like, they've been around way beforehand. But when you have a certain energy being put out, and I am well aware of that large-scale recruitment effort they're doing with ICE to recruit them, like a $50,000 sign-on bonus, student loan forgiveness, which is ironic because it was Trump who I think they just knocked down student loan forgiveness. It was some bill they passed recently going against that. So it's, I even read honestly too that with ICE, they've even shortened the academy length that you have to, like when you go into ICE, you have to go to the academy, like any law enforcement agency, right? And it used to be longer. Now they've shortened it down to 6 weeks so they can just do mass get their numbers, because ICE ain't never really been deep like that. I just don't like the energy right now here. I don't like that. I do have a strong opinion on the border. I do think we need strong borders. I do think we need to protect our borders, protect our lands. I do think that you can do that without putting out an atmosphere of hate. I do think you can do that without spreading division. Obama did it. Like I told y'all before, Obama deported far more immigrants than, let me put the photo up here. I'm sorry. This is my first time streaming. I'm still kind of figuring all this out. Hold on one second. So I'm still figuring all this out. Sorry, y'all. But Obama did that. Obama deported far more illegal immigrants than Trump did in his tenure, and there wasn't even a conversation about it because he didn't spread an atmosphere of hate. I see a lot of people when I bring that up, their main thing they always say is, well, why don't we talk about when Obama did it? Why don't we ever talk about when Obama deported illegal immigrants? I always tell y'all the difference was when Obama was doing it, there wasn't this atmosphere of... When Trump first started running, and he ran his campaign on build the wall, deport them all, build the wall, deport them all, and et cetera, et cetera. And then even after that, he didn't deport nowhere near as many illegal immigrants and legal criminals or violent criminals, offenders that Obama did. That let me know off top you full of shit. And it's interesting because those people who support Trump and are so pro his stance on the border, I note they never bring that up when it comes to Obama. Like, it's interesting. It's very fascinating. To anybody out there in Sac who has family who might be here illegally, at the end of the day, the law is the law, but at the same time, bro, and then it look away, bro, that you arresting all these people that literally are contributing to our economy, that are contributing to our society, that are picking our crops. I hate to sound racist, but are picking our crops, that are working in our factories. They arrested one motherfucker. He came here from the Caribbean last year. He was working as a police officer in some state in the East Coast, and he passed a federal clearance to work there. And they even deported him. Like, that motherfucker should have an exception. I mean, he's being a cop. Now, granted, I think, honestly, let me be fair, because he has only been here for like a year or two. That there should have been some better vetting process to just let him motherfucker coming from a different country and going to a law enforcement agency. But nevertheless, he chose to be a cop. Like, he's trying to, he's contributing. My thing with that, bro, is if you're coming to my country to contribute, if you're coming to my country to help, if you're coming to my country I'm cool with that, bro, and it's all love. But also understand the rules is the rules, Speaking of which, shout out to anybody listening to this from Brazil. Y'all see I got my Brazilian flag in the background. I went to Brazil.
Saúde.
I had this drink called the
Dá mais pro meu cachorro novo.
Let me tell you, it was so good. Oh, so good. Now, granted, so good. That was the shit. Now, I don't know where we're gonna go as a country. I don't know. Shout out, does anybody have any questions right now? Anybody have any questions? And to those of y'all who are watching me on other platforms right now, I have it streamed to YouTube and Instagram and to Facebook. I can't see you guys' other comments yet. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. We're gonna try to work that out, and we're gonna try to work that out in later. But shout out to those of y'all who listen to me. This is my first time streaming on here. Let me know how I did. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what I can do to make it more entertaining for y'all.